My friends, today we're talking about something most seniors never admit out loud: loneliness. But I'm going to tell you the truth right from the start. Being alone isn't the problem. It's the thoughts that fill the silence. That's the real loneliness. The kind that sneaks in through the cracks when the house gets quiet. You know exactly what I mean. You sit down in your chair, the TV's off, nobody's calling, and suddenly your mind starts pulling out old files, old memories, old hurts. And before you know it, the silence in the room becomes louder than any noise you've ever heard. That, my friends, is the loneliness loop. It's not about being alone. Some people live alone and feel peaceful. Some live with others and still feel empty. Loneliness isn't physical. It's mental. It's emotional. It's the stories your mind tells you when there's nothing to distract it. And let me tell you, seniors hear those stories louder than anyone. 1. Loneliness begins the moment your thoughts turn against you. You're not lonely because there's no one in the room. You're lonely because your mind whispers things like, "Nobody needs me anymore. Life has passed me by. I'm forgotten. I'm falling behind. My best years are over." Those thoughts, those quiet, poisonous little sentences, are what create the feeling of loneliness. It's not silence that hurts. It's what silence lets your mind say. 2. Seniors have more silence, so they have more emotional noise. Let's be blunt. At our age, the kids are grown. The phone doesn't ring like it used to. Loved ones have passed. Old routines fade away, and life gets quieter. But when life gets quieter, the mind gets louder. That's why loneliness hits seniors harder than anyone else. Not because we're alone, but because we finally have time to hear our own thoughts. And some of those thoughts, they're not kind. 3. The loneliness loop is a mental habit, not a life sentence. Here's the good news nobody says loudly enough. Loneliness is not who you are. It's a pattern your mind has rehearsed. And like any pattern, it can be interrupted. The moment you start spiraling into those silent, heavy thoughts, you can stop the loop with something simple: a grounding breath. A short phrase like, "I am still here and my life still matters." A small action: stand up, stretch, drink water, step outside. A memory that brings strength instead of sadness. A message to someone you care about. A reminder that your story is not over. Loneliness loses its power the moment you do anything that brings your mind back into the present moment. The loop can only survive when you sit still and believe every negative thought it feeds you. 4. Human connection doesn't start with people. It starts with presence. I know this sounds upside down, but it's true. You can't feel connected to others until you feel connected to yourself. You can be surrounded by family and still feel invisible. You can sit alone on your porch and feel full of life. Connection is an inside job. And the moment you interrupt the loneliness loop, you start reconnecting with your own presence, your own spirit, your own sense of worth. That's when the world becomes brighter again. That's when conversations feel easier. That's when people feel closer. Not because anything changed outside, but because something changed inside. 5. Here's the truth seniors almost never hear. You're not lonely because you're alone. You're lonely because your mind has been repeating the same painful thoughts in the silence, and no one ever taught you how to interrupt them. You are not forgotten. You are not done. You are not living a smaller life. You're living a quieter one, and in that quiet, you now have the power to choose what your mind fills the silence with. Choose peace. Choose presence. Choose one small interruption every time the loop starts. You deserve more than emotional isolation. And you can break this pattern faster than you think. My friends, loneliness is not a condition. It's a conversation inside your mind. And you can change that conversation starting today. Please hit like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a video. And neither will others.